How you guys doing? Listen, today's going to be an amazing day. I am super pumped. It is the last day of the month of August 2020. Oh my God, we saw January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. And like I said, I still did not entangle this August. Maybe next August. But listen, man, it's going to be an amazing day. You know what we do here in Bouqui'S Place. Welcome to Bouqui'S Place. We don't talk about the glit or the glam. We talk about the grit and the grind. And we bring your favorite people to share their journeys, to share their testimonies, so that you can hear that if this person that I respect so much, this person that I love so much, went through all this and they are standing, I have absolutely no excuses. And in the building today, Bishop Feb Idahosa. Ladies and gentlemen, drum roll. I'm excited.
Hi, Bouquie.
How are you? It is so good to see you.
Great to see you too. How are you?
I'm chilling. No chinchilla, but I'm chilling.
Okay, I'm gonna get that rap. I'm gonna get your rap game on one of these days. But good to see you.
Listen, it is so good to see you. I finally got this lady to play the song after I had to spell my name. So you guys, if you have this woman Alexa in your house, don't call my name Bouquie. Just say Bouquir. That's what she understands. But it's not about me today. It's about you. I'm excited. We're going to jump straight into it because that 1 hour is never enough. And you know what happened to me on Friday? On Friday, my 1 hour went over.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We went to 120 minutes and I'm like, okay. So if it happens today, if it doesn't, it's all good. But welcome to Bouqui'S Place. Let me just tell you what we do here so we get this show on the road. In a world, everybody's talking about things that don't matter. Everybody's talking about things that you can, put holes into. We talk about things that matter. We practically equip people with resources and tools that they need to do destiny. And how do we do it? We bring people like you to share your journey. Instead of giving them 7 ways to succeed, 6 ways to do destiny, we bring people that have been through the grit and the grind. You paid your dues. And then when you share it, they see that, oh my God, if Bishop went through all that and he's standing, I have no excuses. I'm going to get up, dust myself off, and start all over again. So when I shut up now, you are going to tell us your journey. It's about ordinary people, their ordinary lives, doing extraordinary things. So, welcome to Bouqui'S Place. Tell us from the beginning, because I know your heritage is rich. We want to hear. You want to hear.
All right. Well, my thought is, if you want to ask me, I can share some thoughts. But if you want to ask me some questions about that, how it goes, that would help me sort of kind of. Sort of direct where I'm going, but I love the clip you sent me today, which I talked about. Don't anchor your life really on people's thoughts about you, on people's ideas about you, on people's things that they say about your opinions. Now that sounds like very generic advice, but the truth is it came for me from a very, very deep place of reality, a deep place of truth. Because growing up as a young man, my father was Archbishop Benson Idahosa. He was larger than life. Everybody knew him. Yeah. They knew him, knew who he was. And because of that, I was growing up as a young man, let's say from between the ages of 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Those kind of years before your teenage years. And I was kind of getting to the point where they would see my father and they would see me and they would say, okay, this is what you're supposed to be. This is who you're supposed to be. That happened to me when I was young, at that age. Now, interestingly enough, the same things happened to me again when I turned 25. My father passed away, and I now came back home to Nigeria, and I was trying to become my own man, who I was. The same thing again. People were expecting, okay, that this is who you are. This is who your father is. This is who you should be. So they would put the same thoughts on me, the same expectations on me. And for me, as I was growing up then, at that 25-year-old age, I began to kind of anchor my life on what they thought. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. My father was larger than life. He was big. He talked with a deep voice. He did this, and I thought I had to do the same thing. Okay, so my father would come on Sunday and do this, and I thought I had to do the same thing. Now, nothing is wrong with imitating, nothing's wrong with trying to be like a mentor or a father or someone else. But when you anchor your life now, not upon him, the person that you're copying, but upon what people are saying you should be, then I began to say, okay, let me do this because people are expecting this, and because people are expecting that. And that put my life in a place where I wasn't who I was. So I'll tell you what I was doing. I was wearing his clothes. And my father was a big man. And at 25, I wasn't quite so big. I was a little bit kind of a little bit scrawny, a little bit. So they looked too big on me. Oversized agbada, oversized suits. I was wearing his clothes. I would listen to his sermons and trying to preach exactly the same thing he said. And the point for me with that was I wasn't getting my revelation to say what God wanted me to say and my identity. So I was trying to become somebody else because people expected that. Now, the thing with that is for those who are watching is this. If you anchor your life now, and an anchor kind of is what you put into the water to hold the boat down. So you anchor your life, you anchor your thinking, you anchor your actions, not on the strength of that anchor, but on the strength of what people are saying. That means today I will look this way and try to become that. Tomorrow I look this way, try to become that. And if I'm always shifting, there's never me looking to God or looking to who I'm supposed to be. That was my issue. So I think that's kind of where I started moving and having to understand at a certain point. So I've said this before many times. I even wore the same shoes, Zeph. I said clothes, shoes, sermons, everything, deep voice. I remember there was one time his friends would call on the phone. It's like, hello, man of God.
Do it for us. Do it for us. Do it. Do the voice.
I just did. Hello, man of God. How are you today? Hey. That wasn't me. And I realized I was trying to fit into his shoes. And there was one day, two things happened. One day, I was listening to one of his sermons. And in the sermon, he said, you are called to motivate, to inspire, to encourage. Now, that was a message he was talking to somebody else, but it hit me as if he was talking to me exactly. So, you know what? That's really what I'm supposed to do. So, I'm supposed to do it my own way. And then, just right after that, I believe God spoke to me and God said, you know what? You're not supposed to fit into your father's shoes. I will give you your own shoes to fill. That broke me. I was trying to fit into his shoes. We said, no, I'll give you your own shoes to fill. And when I understood I was supposed to fill my own shoes, his shoes were there for him. His shoes were there for him to do. It was his purpose, his life. I have my own purpose. Now, my purpose can align with his, but I have my purpose. And that is what helped me break free. So that's the first thing I want to share. Don't anchor your life on people's thoughts about you, people's opinions about you, people's thoughts of what you should do, should be. No. Find out what you are supposed to do. What's your vision? Who are you supposed to be? And work from there. I think that's the first thing I want to share about that. So you asked about growing up. Growing up, then let me wind back to that.
Thank you for sharing. That was good. Thank you.
Thank you. So, what are your thoughts? Go ahead.
You were growing when you started. You said when you were growing up. Tell us where you were born, how you moved to the States, to the university, how you came back. Just generally give us the so that we sit down and be chopping popcorn.
Okay, sure. Okay, so let's see. All right, so I was saying I was growing up now. As I was growing up, I had the same pressure again to sort of be everything. I couldn't be anywhere in town, in church, in school without people saying, you must be this, you must be that, you must be that. Because your father says, if I did anything, before I got home, I thought I already heard about it. I went to boarding school in Jos, Nigeria, that's northern Nigeria. And while I was there, my life, people there didn't necessarily care who I was. You were just a regular person. That helped me become my own person. And then so I was boarding school in Nigeria. I was there from 7th grade all the way to 10th grade. Then in 10th grade, I moved. I got a scholarship to play basketball in the U.S.
Oh,
so
wow.
I moved. Yeah, I was a baller. Hey.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God, ballers.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, the ballers. There you go. So I played basketball in high school for 2 years in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Then I went to college in the same place in Oklahoma at Oral Roberts University in Tulsa as well too. And I played basketball there for 1 year. So I played basketball again there at collegiate level. And then my third, fourth, and fifth, my second and fourth year, I didn't play ball. I took place my books because that wasn't where I was going. It wasn't my life's purpose, etc. So I wanted to face where I was going. So I studied pre-med, and I got a degree in business.
Wow.
So then after that, after my undergraduate year, what I do? My undergraduate year, I went to get a master's degree in public health at George Washington in DC. So I did that for a year. Now I was supposed to now go from there to medical school. So I was supposed to start medical school the following year. So my visa had expired for where I was doing my master's degree. So I went back to let me go back to Nigeria, do some work on my project, come back to the States, get a new visa, come back to the States, and start medical school. Okay, great, everything was fine. So I went back to Nigeria. It also happened that was the year that Abacha had killed Ken Saro-Wiwa. And so the U.S. Embassy was putting some siege against Nigeria.
Allegedly.
Sorry, allegedly. I wasn't there. So that's what they said. So I went back home, and while then that summer, I went back home, tried to get a visa to come back to the States to do my project work. And I got to the embassy, and they said, no, they won't give you a visa. I'm like, why not? They said, no visa, sorry. Okay. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. So I went back home, talked to my father. Okay, let's call him the big guns. Let's come back again. I called my father in, so he came. So he sent a letter to the ambassador, blah, blah, blah. They gave me an appointment. Went there. They said, no visa. No, it didn't make any sense because my whole life, since I was 5, I've been traveling to the UK, to the US. My passport was full of visas. So there was no reason why they shouldn't give me a visa. That was denied a second time, denied a third time, denied a fourth time. So this time we called everybody we knew, called the ambassadors, cousins, wives, uncles, somebody. I even called my U.S. Senator in D.C., the person that represented the District of Columbia. So he wrote a letter saying, okay, yes, they know me, blah, 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 blah. Give me a visa. They denied every single one. My school wrote a letter saying I should get a visa. They was denied again. So after this, after trying like umpteen time, my father said, you know what? Let's just wait, okay? Maybe God has a reason for this. I said, no. I took an offering, battle seed to church. I said, God, I'm giving an offering. Let my visa come in the name of Jesus. No visa. So after that, I said, okay, let me just wait. So I spent the next 9 months from August, September of that year to early in February of that year in Nigeria. And but during that time, my father and I traveled around Nigeria, traveled around Africa, traveled around different places because I got to know him. I spent time with him. I got to understand his vision, got to understand where he was coming from. We would talk. As we were traveling, we would talk about different things. I remember we went to Ghana. I met the president there, different things, just all kinds of different things with him in those 9 months. And after 9 months, my dad says, okay, go, let's try for the visa again. Because school will start again, and this was like February or March or so, whatever it was. School will start next year, let's try the visa again. So I went to the embassy, I applied for a visa, and like that, they gave me. I said,
wow.
So here's the interesting thing. That was in 1996, I believe. 2 years later, my father passed away, like that. So I thought it was very interesting because it was as if God wanted to give me that time to know my father, to know his vision, to know all these different things, because I've been in boarding school for most of my life. I've been away in high school, away in college, away from everything in Nigeria. So I got those 9 months to understand, to spend time, to birth vision, to understand really what all the things were about. And so when that was done, my father passed away. And so I just saw that how God had his hand in things all the time. So I guess the lesson from that one is this, that sometimes we pray, we hope, we do different things, and it seems as though God is not hearing you. But the truth is God is hearing you, he's also planning. The way God thinks, God doesn't think like someone playing checkers with one move at a time. God's thinking like chess, 5 moves, 10 moves. He's seeing things ahead of us. And he knew what was going to happen. And he gave me that time. And today, to the day, it's invaluable for me as I look back in my life.
Wow, that is so touching. Because for you to collect the baton from someone, you have to be in their they have the proximity is a key. You can't collect the baton over there and say, throw me the baton, maybe it will land on your forehead, but you have to be near. It's it's a succession plan. You have to be near to receive, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah,
Wow.
so,
Wow.
so that's my story.
I'm gonna probe a little. So how did he pass away? Where were you and how did you hear?
Okay, so now interestingly enough, I was in medical school at the time when my father passed away. So I was I started medical school in the US and I moved to medical school in the UK because I wanted to get more of a Nigerian type of training. So I moved to the UK and started and continued medical school there. So I was in school in class one day and I get a call from Bishop Reed. Now I was staying in Brentwood, Essex in the UK. I got a call, I need you to come home right now. This is like at 2 in the afternoon. Didn't make any sense. Why do you want to see me at 2 in the afternoon? I want to see you. It's like 2, 3 in the afternoon. I want to see you. Okay, sure, no problem at all. So I left school, got on the train. The train was an hour to get back home. I got back to the house and he said, sit down. I said, no, I don't want to sit down. He said, sit down. I said, I'm okay, I'm fine. What's up? What's up? He said, okay, well, this afternoon, your father was at home this afternoon and he was talking to a couple of friends, and as he was talking, he passed away. He's like, now you want to sit down? I'm like, yeah, I'll sit down now. I'll sit down now. So I sat down. But so that's how I got the news. What happened was that on March the 12th of 1998, my father had gone up that day. He got up that day as normal. He went to, we have a morning prayer service at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I got up, goes to morning prayer at 6 o'clock in the morning. When he finished morning prayer at 6 a.m., he went to go inspect all of the different sites that he has. They were doing building projects, one at the university, different places. So he went to different building sites. But that day was interesting. He went to every single thing that he established. So he finished morning prayer. He went to the university sites, looked around there, saw what they were doing there. He left there. He went to the Bible school. He spoke to the Bible school pastors that were being trained there. Spoke to them, encouraged them, left the Bible school, stopped by the hospital, talked to some people, talked to the doctor at the hospital, said a few things there to them, just hello. Then he went to the church. No, sorry. Then he went to the church. Yeah. And that day, that was Thursday morning. And every Thursday we have a Thursday morning prayers that the women come together and pray on Thursdays. So we call it Women's School of Prayer. So he stopped by there on Thursday at around 10 or whatever morning, talked to women there, and I remember he kept saying, now it's your turn. Now it's your turn. Now it's your turn. That was his message. Now it's your turn. They said, okay, praise God, it's our turn, it's our turn. That's what we were hearing. Then he went went to his office, did some work in the office, and then he was saying to his staff, two of the staff told me, he told them, I'm going home, guys, I'm going home. And in their mind, okay, he's going home. Yeah, sure, no problem. But that doesn't usually leave that early. So I'm going home. Then to one, he said, I'm going home today. Okay, that's fine. I'm going home today, no problem. Bye, Papa, see you later, like that. On his way home, stopped by the schools that he established with my mom. They established themselves. When they were done, they passed by there. When they were done, he went to the house. At home, he was having lunch with some guests. He had some guests that come in to the country. They were doing a conference for ORUEF, which is our Educational Fellowship Conference. So they were having lunch, and they'll have one. And so he got up as he usually does, and he starts serving everybody food. He gives everyone some food and tells everyone on the table. They're like, oh, it's so nice of you, so nice, Papa, thank you so much. Then he grabs a bottle of sparkling wine, and he says, and this particular brand is called Pure Heaven. So he says, okay, this is great. He says, this is great wine. He says, one taste from this and you're going to go straight to heaven. Everyone laughed. Okay, no problem. And then he was talking about, said you want to try because you can go right to heaven. Heaven is around the corner. Then he made a statement and said, that's the way I want to go. When I go, I'd like to just be here 1 minute and be gone the next. Like Elisha, like Elijah. Be here 1 minute like Elijah and be gone the next. That wouldn't that be nice? And he was like, yeah, it'd be nice. Anyway, just kind of thought he was talking. And then he left the table and took two of his guests with him. One of them was Dr. Don Petrie. Another one was Dr. Bill Jernigan from Oral Roberts University. And so they were sitting down, they were talking, and they were just talking about what he wants to do. And he said to Dr. Petrie, who's like a father figure of mine, said, you know, I'm leaving the university, which was called Christian Faith University at the time. It's now Benson Idahosa University. So I'm leaving this in your hands. I want you to help me take it to the next level, do a couple different things, but this is your work. I want to hand this over to you. So they're okay, sure, no problem. We'll help you to what we need to do. Said, okay, you sure you can handle it? He said yes. Okay, so they kept on talking. And he sat on his chair. And they said like he was just sitting there, and then he just put his head down. And that was it. He was gone. So they were talking to him, and he wasn't responding. And so this guy, he knows CPR, so he's like, oh, he's not there, he's not responding. So they put him on the floor, did CPR on him, did some compressions, nothing, no response. So they called our hospital. The doctors ran in everywhere, they tried all they could. But just like that, he was gone. And that's how he passed. So just very interesting the way God just kind of took him like that. And so yeah, that's part of my thing. So I've seen things that are tough. I've gone through that tough time. For me, when I got that news, it was like a big Mack truck just came and just hit me right there. But God had a plan. God still has a plan. And now that plan is unfolding. Now, let's say I was 25 at the time. So when that happened, I moved back to Nigeria. So I came back to Nigeria. My mom was in the States at the time. She was in the US. And they had just finished doing a conference together in Florida. And so he said, okay, no, I'm going to come back home. And I'm going to go back home to get the ministry going again. To go back into church and just do what I normally do. She went to go visit her sister. She had a sister that lives in Las Vegas. So she went to go visit her sister. So she got the news when she was visiting her sister. This is like on Tuesday, because I think they had preached together on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday the week before. Sunday they were in Baltimore, and he preached an interesting message. On Sunday morning in Baltimore, he preached a message called "Why You Must Live." Interesting sermon title. And in that sermon, I've listened to that sermon 100 times. He's talking about God has a plan for you. You must live. And so he was talking about you must live, you must live, you must live. And as he's saying that, he starts crying on the stage. You must live. And he's crying. You hear it on the message. You must live. I'm like, wow, okay. So he finishes saying that, and then he finished preaching. And then that was Sunday. Monday, he flies to Nigeria. Tuesday, he gets in on Tuesday in the afternoon. On Wednesday, he does his normal work on Wednesday. On Wednesday evening, he preaches his last sermon on Wednesday evening. On Thursday mornings, when all that I told you about just happened. So it's just a very interesting turn of events.
Wow.
You okay?
Before I speak, and then my heart you just see something red coming out of my mouth. I'll put you back.
Shut up.
Gross. But wow. And wow. You know, I lost my dad.
Wow, okay.
Let's not talk about it. I feel it. I feel it coming. I don't want to cry.
I know that's long.
I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not suppress it.
No, you can say it.
No, not today. So what we do here is we practically equip people. Mm-hmm. We just share the stories. We let them see that this happened to me, and it would not be complete if we don't put this was how I pulled through.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Somebody's listening now and saying, okay, yeah, I lost someone too. But what did you do after that? I mean, I can imagine my uncle walked into my house to say, everybody sit down, get me a glass of water. So, you know, that's my journey. But I want you to tell us, when they told you that, you said they hit you like a truck. How did you pull through? Because you were in school. You had to still live. What did you do to navigate that season? How did you get to the mental stability?
Okay, let me tell you another story as well, okay? Because I tell these two stories together about, I said in my life, I've been hit by a Mack truck twice in my life. So let me tell you the second story, if that's all right. Okay. And we'll talk about how I pulled through, how we got the strength to be able to come through something like this. Okay, so the second story was this. my wife and I, she's been on the show many. She's been on the show before with you, Bouqui'S Idahosa. Yes, I like that. Okay, am I doing that? Yeah, there you go. Anyway,
my soul sister. It's my soul sister.
Go sister, go sister. All right. Okay, so we married. We got married, and we didn't have any children right away. And I know in Nigeria, when you get married, on the day you get married, they start counting.
Next day you born, you have to born the next day.
You better born straight. So if you deliver in 9 months exactly, you're good. Because if you have a child before 9 months, you are in trouble. A child after 9 months, you are in trouble. So it better be exactly 9 months. Okay.
Trust me, I know when my aunties call me, Bouquis, how are you again? You know they want to ask about husband.
Exactly, right, exactly. So anyway, so we don't have any children right away. I'll tell you the short version because of time. So basically we didn't have any children right away. So it took us 5 years. Wow. 4 years of trying different things to have our first child. And we had our first child through IVF. So imagine after all of these years working, trying to get a baby. Now, of course, we enjoyed the process, but after the process was done,
Two drinks, yeah.
What do you know? Anyway, yeah. So after 5 years, we had a baby through IVF, and interestingly enough, a child was born on July 3rd, and at 8 p.m. So we're happy. My mom was in Asia doing a crusade at the time. She was happy, so we called her. She was happy. She was excited, everything, so we're all happy. But they said, okay, your baby's having a little bit of trouble breathing. It's probably just normal. So we're gonna keep him in the ICU overnight. We're gonna keep him in the NICU overnight, just to make sure it's all right. And in the morning, we can take him home and everything. So great. 8 p.m. It was born 8 p.m. By 5 a.m., the nurses come to our room. My wife was in the hospital room, and I was there sleeping too. They woke us up. Come on down. The baby's not doing so good. So we rushed down to the NICU, and this was in Delaware. We rushed down to the NICU, and we saw all kinds of tubes and things on a little baby here, little things attached here, tube on his mouth, just everything. And then they started bagging him. Now that showed us trouble. So said, what's going on? He's not breathing. He's not breathing. Handsome baby boy, he's not breathing. So we immediately called again. We called my mom, called my wife's parents. Now, Lori's dad and mom, you know them very well. They're pastors. And so they rushed to the hospital, and they stopped praying. Then they called all of their friends and people in the church. So they came to the hospital as well. This is in Delaware. And they came to the hospital as well. So we had like a little church service going on, just praying, God, baby must pull through. My mom, she had called, she called her people that they were praying. I called Nigeria. I called my pastor friends in Nigeria. They were praying. We called Bishop McIntosh in Jamaica. He was praying. So around the world, we were just praying. And they were working on the baby. We said, okay, God, you got to give us a miracle. And this was from 7 p.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. They said, okay, they're going to call a hospital. They're going to call a helicopter from Philadelphia, from Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, CHOP in Philadelphia. So they called a chopper. As the chopper was coming in, and as it landed on the roof of the hospital in Delaware, in Christiana, Delaware, our baby died. Now that for me was the second time in my life where I was just thrown for a loop. I mean, I didn't know what to do. My mind was just, how can God let this happen? We're praying there in Delaware, praying in Nigeria, praying in Asia, praying in the Caribbean, praying everywhere. And our son died. So basically my thoughts around all this was, okay, twice in my life I've been hit just out of nowhere. And I want to tell you this, who's watching right now, okay? If your faith has not been shaken at any time, it will at some point be shaken. For me, that was my faith. I was shaken. My father passed away. I was shaken when my son passed away. This was a couple of space of maybe, 9 years? I thought, from 98 to 2006. Anyway, so that for me was my time. How do we pull through? Okay, so I look through now, and I'm trying to think of how do I tell the story without going into too much detail and depth because of time.
Go. We have time.
Okay, so here's what happened. So our son passed away, just like that. And a couple of days later, we decided we're going to bury him. This was on July the 9th. We did a funeral service for him. And in the funeral service, I remember the days before that it was tough for us. My faith was shaking. I kept saying, okay, God, where were you? How did this happen? And I'm worried. God, how, I don't know what to do. And my wife, Roy, would be crying. And I would try to comfort her. And so I would say, honey, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. And she would stop crying. And when she stopped crying, I would start crying. And she would come and say, honey, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. So I would stop crying. When I would stop crying, she would stop crying. So we just kind of took turns crying and just kind of just pouring our lives out, saying, God, we don't know what's going on. Anyway, so at the funeral service on July the 9th, we're burying our son. And the preacher who preached, Bishop David Huskins, a friend of ours, he preached and said, within a year from today, God is going to give you a reason to rejoice again. Okay, my wife, my sister's here. My sister Ruth is online. She says, God, you both continue to worship through the loss. Absolutely. So that's one thing that we learned. We worship through the loss. And so at the service there, right there, okay, he said, God gives a reason to rejoice. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to hear that right now. That's not what I'm looking for right now. But anyway, when the part of the service came, when there was a worship time. And so my wife goes up to the altar and she kneels down. She begins to worship. So me, I'm here thinking, okay, I'm not feeling like worshiping right now. But she's at the altar. I don't want people to think maybe, look at this bishop, look at this pastor. His wife is holy, he's not holy. So I went to altar too and then knelt down too. So let me at least kneel down as well too. So I knelt down. As I'm kneeling down worshiping, God begins to speak to me. And he tells me, and he says, if this could happen in the US, where you have all the things you need, all the equipment that they had to make sure your son lived, what's happening in Nigeria? I want you to go back home. And I want you to establish a section or hospital, a part of your hospital, to deal with women and children's issues. So go build a new section of the hospital for women and children. I'm thinking, okay, sure, this is God speaking. All right, no problem. So God speaks to me, and I hear that part. I mean, okay, this makes sense. God is talking to me through my worship. So I go back and sit down. I'm thinking, how do I tell Lori this? Because this is not what I want to hear. This is not what I want to hear. But funny enough, God spoke the exact same thing to her. And she was sitting thinking, how do I tell Feb this? So eventually we talked about it. And we said, okay, God spoke the exact same thing to us. We said, okay, no problem. So we're going to go back home, and we're going to go back home, and we're going to establish Women and Children's Hospital to help people not go through the same thing we went through. And so as soon as we said this, in the next couple of days, we shared this vision. People began to just give us equipment. We got about 6 or 7, what do they call those things? I forgot. I can't think of the words right now. We got respirators. We got the lights for what should we call it? A whole neonatal unit. They had the lights for jaundice, for taking care of a baby and everything. We got I think like 7 of those given to us. We got all kinds of equipment given to us. Just here, go just to establish what you need to establish. And so within a month, we had all the things we needed to establish that hospital. So we came back to Nigeria, and we talked to the hospital people, and we opened up a new unit of the hospital. Women and children. It was called Big Ben's Children's Hospital because our son was called Ben after my father Benson. And so we opened up a unit, and in the months following that, we kind of get people's testimonies. People were coming in. There's a lady who came in, and she was having a seizure, and she was pregnant, having a seizure at the time. And they were able to save her life. Took her to the theater, operated on her. A baby came out and everything to save her life, save the baby's life. There was another lady who came in, was having surgery across town, and they just couldn't handle it. So they sort her back up, sent her to our hospital. Our doctors had the equipment. They were able to save her life, save the baby's life. I mean, I have so many stories about what happened then in that time, that God saved people's lives. Incubators, yes. We had incubators as well, too.
What thought is incubators?
It was COVID-19. Yeah, well, yes, no, he's thinking of ventilators, but yes, it was incubators. We got incubators as well, too. Anyway, so there's so many stories that I could tell about people whose lives were saved, women's lives were saved, children's lives were saved. And that was just because we obeyed God in this. Now, how do we deal with that? One of the ways we dealt with this was, I remember in the month that we were there, kind of just mourning and kind of getting ready to get back to Nigeria. A friend of ours, Pastor Billy Joe Doherty, he and his wife called us and said, you know what? You have to, at this time, turn off your home and your access to your mind and everything else. Turn off the TV, turn off the radio, turn off everything, and just give yourselves and your home to worship. So let your heart begin to communicate with God, begin to share with God. And so we turned off, so for that whole month, there was no TV for us, not because we really wanted to, but we just had worship music playing in the house. And we're just saying, you know, God, we don't understand what we worship you, we trust you.
Oh.
And it was during all this time that this thing began to just come in. So like my sister was saying, yes, we give ourselves to worship in the midst of our loss, in the midst of our pain. Give ourselves to worship. And then we give ourselves to say, okay, look, let's do something with our pain. Let's allow our pain to mean something. Let's allow our loss to mean something. And so for us, that was when we decided to say, okay, that's when we said, we're going to take that pain that we had and use that, use it to turn into something to help people.
Convert it, yeah.
Well, to convert, exactly. So I think that's the lesson for me is when you're in pain, don't waste the pain. You're already hurting, so use it to do something. Find someone that you can help. Now the Bible talks about this, that Jesus Christ said to Peter one time, said, Peter, the devil has sought to sift you as wheat. He didn't say, they said, I prayed for you. Now, he didn't say I prayed for you that it wouldn't happen. He said, I prayed for you that when it happens, after it happens, you're going to rise up again. And when you rise up, you are going to strengthen your brothers. And that is what happened with us. We fell. The truck hit us. It hit me. I fell. But the thing about God is this. When you fall, God is not far from you. I tell the people this all the time. When you fall, what God does is he doesn't run away from you when you fall. God runs to you when you fall. If you look at Peter in the boat when he was sinking, as he was sinking, Christ was walking towards him, not away from him. Christ stepped towards where he was, and Christ picked him up. So he pulled him up from the water as he was falling, and they walked to the boat together. I keep telling people this. He didn't pick him up and say, okay, here you go. Throw him to the boat. He didn't pick him up and put him on his back. Look, they picked him up and they walked together. So when you fall, when things hit you, if you connect to God, God will pick you up and he will walk with you. He will stand with you. He won't let you stay down. So for us, he picked us up and we walked with God together. We stood hand in hand. We took our pain and we chose to let it mean something. And so we use that pain to help somebody else. So same thing as Christ was saying to Peter, he said, look, if you fall, sought to sift you as wheat, he will shake you. But after he's done shaking you, you'll stand. And when you have stood up, when you have risen again, strengthen your brothers. So I believe that when things happen to us that we don't understand, God is never surprised. One of my pastor friends says it this way. He says, nothing will ever happen that will make God say, Jesus!
My God, oh my knee!
Oh my God! Right. Oh, yes, exactly. Not OMG now, it's like, oh my me, exactly. So nothing ever happens. So God's not surprised. God knows it, he sees it. If he allows it to happen, it's because there's something that's going to come out of it. And at the funeral service the year before, the pastor said, he said, God can take any situation, no matter how tragic, and use it to bring glory to himself and use it to do something for you. So exactly that. So that's exactly what happened. And so, funny enough, we opened the hospital, we worked, did everything happen, and exactly a year to the dates that we had buried our son. A few months later, my wife got pregnant, we got pregnant, and exactly a year to the date, exactly 1 year later, from July 9th to July 9th, the next year, we had a baby boy, and that baby boy is our son, Feb Jr. So today, he just turned 12 a couple of days ago, turned 12 in July last month. So God does some awesome things. So how do we get through? Okay, let me wrap up so I don't talk the whole time. We got through, we worshiped in our pain. We made sure our pain would mean something to someone. We used it to do something. Because here's the thing, when you're in pain, you're already hurting. So you might as well use that pain to do something. Don't see the pain. Now, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. But resilience demands that you stand back up. And if you are a Christian and you know God, then it's even easy. It's easier. Is it easier? Yeah, it's easier because you know God. You have that strength from God that says, okay, you can make it. And he never runs away from you, he runs to you. So I did a post a couple of days ago with a quote from Bonnie St. John, a black U.S. Paralympic skier. And she said it this way, says, everybody falls, okay? And most people get back up. But the people that win gold medals are usually the ones that get up faster, the ones that come up faster than everybody else. Because you and I will both fall. If I decide to stay down, I'll never win. I get up after a long time, I might do okay, but those who get up fastest, those who try to come up fastest and come back again, those are the ones that the time in which the short time it took to get back up might mean the time difference between a gold medal and a silver medal, or not no medal at all. So I think for us, when things like that happen, you got to find out, reach inside you and find, okay, what's the thing that's going to keep me going? I worship God. I stood up and I said, okay, I need to move on. I need to take that pain and mean something. And God helped us do that. We have to anchor ourselves in something. We anchor ourselves in the faith that we knew that God was still good. God was still going to give us what we had asked for. So I think that's just kind of a few things. Let me stop talking. let me let you share a few thoughts.
No. Man, I'm listening to you, and it's easy to talk about pain. But when you're going through it, it's just PAIN. But when you're going through it, it's like a whole house fell on you.
Right.
And you won't even, because I'm listening now, and in Yoruba, they say this thing that it is what the bird eats that the bird will use to fly, which means your ability depends on what you practice or fed yourself with prior to the incident. My dad will say, if the whistle goes off and you bend to tie your shoes, you're already late.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Yeah, that the whistle should meet you ready. You've tied your shoes, you're on your mark, and then the whistle goes off, and then you dash. But if the whistle goes off and you're like, I bet my time my shoe, you're already late. You know? So I'm listening to you, and I'm thinking of how you must have invested in your soul and your spirit before the trailer hit you. Because if the trailer hits you and you're lightweight, it goes just to carry you to go. Like, you know what I'm saying? It takes something for you to even make an indentation on the trailer. The truck hits you. It takes weight. It takes substance. You can't be paper. If it's paper, you know? But the fact that it hits you and then, you know, but I want you to speak to people that don't spend their me time. I have two things on my mind I want to talk about. One, I want to talk about the prime time and the highlights and the lowlights. Yesterday I was speaking about it, and God was talking to me about hills and valleys. Hills and valleys. We go high and we come down. And nobody talks to you about the downside. They only talk about the hill, the highlights, the posting on Instagram, selfie, you know. But nobody talks about the lowlights. Nobody talks about the meantime. You hear it all the time. People say, oh, I just finished my movie. And so what are you doing in the meantime? In the meantime, I'm just waiting for the next. And they don't know that that meantime is a combination. The highlight is a combination of what you do in the meantime. I want you to talk about investing in yourself in the now, so that when the door opens, you're ready. Right.
Absolutely. One of the things that you just mentioned right now is that everybody has the highs and the lows and different things, because in life, the road of life is never straight. It's not just one that we think it's going to be just from here to here. Well, the truth is, yes, there are days when we'll be on top of the world, we'll be excited, and then the days when we'll be low. And it's what you do with your life in the time that you're going down that helps you climb up again.
Yes.
So in terms when you're going down, you have to say, okay, yes, in those times, what do I do? Who do I know? And you have to know in whom you believe. For me, I believe that's strong. You have to know whom you believe. You have to know where your life is anchored in. What's your strength? So for us, I think in the time when we're down, when we fell, everything was, we didn't know what to do. For about that month, we spent time just, like I said, just really worshiping God. But the thing was, it wasn't like we were from morning to night just saying, I worship you, I worship you, I worship you. No. It wasn't as simple as that. It was, yes, we put music on. So it's like what we hear in our house is just that. So we still lived, we still ate, we still got up, we still just lived. But while you're doing all that, I took time to read books about resilience, took time to read books about loss, took time to read things about how do you handle things. There's a book I read after my father passed away about how do you deal with the loss of a father. My point I'm trying to read, I was trying to build myself up, and I was reading these things, I was reading the Bible as well, build up my spirit. So I'm understanding how other people have dealt with the same things I've dealt with. And that kind of helped me do that. So my thing is this, in life too, people, whatever we're dealing with, people have gone through this before. Now, I talk about this and I say success leaves clues. Success never leaves clues. So people who have done well, they leave clues behind. They read books that talk about different things too, how they stepped. But at the same time too, resilience also leaves clues. Because you have to find, because whatever you're dealing with, someone has dealt with before. We're not the first person to have dealt with loss. We're not the first person to have dealt with losing a son. We're not the first person to have dealt with losing a father. And so now, I'll be able to help people who have gone through the same kind of thing. My wife Lori, awesome woman of God, is able to help people who have dealt with the same kind of things, because she's able to say, look, I went through this. This is how I went through. And able to give her strength. A couple of days ago, my sister Ruth was also online talking about finding your identity. And she talked about how in her life, there was a time when she was abused physically by someone. Someone came and attacked her. Physically tried to hit her and tried to rape her, but thankfully they didn't. We're talking about how, okay, having gone through that, her identity in Christ, she found her identity, and now having gone through that, she's able to use that to help other people as well too. So you begin to understand how things that happen to us, if you find the strength in those things, find out from people who have gone through that before, who have dealt with the same kind of issues, how do they deal with it? That helps give you strength to deal with the next one. It helps give you strength to be able to help other people as well too. I think that's my point I'm trying to make, is that all these different things that happen to us help us understand and see different perspectives. So in the times when you're going down, when things are not so great, what do you do then? Do you sit down and just cry and never get back up? No, it's okay to cry, because I cried. We cried. But as you're crying too, you're also trying to say, no, I'm going to get up. I'm going to learn again. And I go back to the Word of God. The Word of God tells me that God says He will never leave me nor forsake me. So in the times when I'm down, I know He hasn't left me. I know He has not forgotten who I am. And so He tells me how He's written my name. He has my name engraved in the palm of His hands. So every time He looks at His hands, He sees my name. He sees your name. And so those kind of words encourage me to say, okay, you know what? I can make it. You can do it. You can stand up. And that's how I know. So it's just like you said, build yourself up in the times when things are tough. Find ways to strengthen yourself. Find ways to know you can make it. And that is how I was able to stand. I remember there were several questions we dealt with when it happened. Someone asked me one time and said, okay, a bishop called me and said, Feb, what sin did you commit that God is punishing you for allowing this to happen? Hey! I said, Jesus. And I was for a while I was thinking, I said, it's true, what did I do? Hey, God, did I sin? Did I do this? Did I do that? Did I do that? Until I saw in the Word of God, Romans 2, Romans talks about how it says, Paul was saying, do you not know that it is the goodness of God that leads you to repentance? So God doesn't, if we sin and make a mistake, He tells us there's no condemnation. It's not about condemning you. It's God's goodness that will bring you back to Him. So even if you had sinned, He was not going to use a thunder, lightning, and hammer to destroy you. No, He's going to use love to bring you back, because that's how God speaks to us. So God told me, no, it wasn't because of sin that this happened. I knew it was going to happen, and I allowed it to happen for a reason. So it wasn't sin. that made us happy. And many times I want to say to someone who's watching right now, people will tell you, oh no, something happened in your life that's bad, it must be sin in your life. And you know what? Sometimes it's not because of sin. God is there. God knows how to bring you back to him. He won't use punishment to bring them. He uses love to bring it to him. So that was one of them. Another question we dealt with, there's so many of them we dealt with. One of them said, okay, this is your God. Hey, is this too good? Let's see now. Let's see. That's what we do now. And God took me to his word. And it talks to us about how the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. It never stops. God's love is steadfast. It's there every single day. It says his mercies are new every morning. So his love is new every morning. And that helped me come out of that too. So having seen all of these different things, I began to say, you know what? My life is not based on these things. My life is not anchored on these people's things. My life is anchored on what God has said about me, who I am, what I know I'm going to do, my future, my thoughts, my plans. And like I said, God wasn't surprised, but he had a plan through all this. So let me go back to my father's story now. And I wrap up. When I lost my father too, I saw over the years how God knew what was going to happen. So he allowed me to not go back to school at that time so I could spend time with my father, know my father some more. Because he was planning for the times when my father would be gone. And I look back over my life right now and see, okay, in the 22 years since he's been gone, there are things that I learned from him that I know that now I'm using. Also, too, I know that if he was still here, there are things I would not be doing. So I'm seeing how, okay, God knew these things. God's seeing, he's planning, he's stepping ahead of us, he's knowing. And that's why I tell people on my Instagram, I said, look, your future is God's past. God has already passed that place. But your future that you're going to is already passed for him. So he understands it. So someone said here before that God is not disappointed when you fall. Because he knew you were going to fall. But it's okay. He's there to stand. So if you make a mistake or if you fall because you're feeling weak, you're feeling down, something happens to you, he's not disappointed in you. He's still there. And because my future that will happen to me tomorrow has already happened for God. He's already there ahead of me. He's ready to pick me up. He's ready to help me stand up. He's ready to make me go to where he has planned for me to go. So I look back over my life and I see when the first Mack truck hits, God had a plan for what happened to me next. When the second Mack truck hit, God had a plan for what happened to us next. So God is a good God. Always, always, always. I will never deny it.
Wow. Amazing. You said a scripture that I pondered upon for a long time ago. He said the devil has planned to sift you as wheat. And because I'm a script writer, I analyze critically, when you sift wheat, it's not a bad thing.
True.
You're putting the dirt away. No, let's look at it. Look at it. Wheat that has the shells, and then he has the wheat. And then you blow the shell away. So it's really not a good thing. It's really not a bad thing if you look at it well. Because now the enemy is the one doing stuff. But God is actually using him to take the contaminants away.
Right. True.
No, man, I took that scripture and I was like, it's not a bad thing to eat. It's like picking beans and rice, So offering time, I'm like, man, take the offering from the No, but your story is so inspiring and I'm listening and I'm listening. You said a key word that this place is about. You said purpose. And we just had a tragic loss this weekend.
Right.
Chadwick.
Right.
And he goes to my church in LA. I know him. And I'm like,
wow.
Yeah, he worships. And I'm like, wait, what is this? And I'm listening to this parallel story of your daddy doing such great work and then God calling him home. What's the other guy's name? The pastor that died in the plane crash?
Miles Monroe?
Miles. I knew him personally too. And I'm wondering, this purpose thing, we would never really understand it. If you were to describe what purpose and destiny, what the concept is, how would you describe it? Oh, wait, we have 3 minutes more. If it does not cut off, we're going. But just in case, I'll tell you in 30 seconds when it counts down. but I want to hear your take.
Okay, purpose, destiny. Purpose talks about what it is that you want to go. You know, the word destiny to me talks about saying this is what Maslow talked about that in one of his messages. Talked about destiny, that it's something that has been decided as to a direction that you're going to go. So for us, we say destiny is where we say I want to go in this direction. So that becomes my destiny. Now, destiny for me can change. It can move because it's not stuck in gold. It's not stuck in a rock somewhere. When God speaks something about you, God has that as your plan. What I say I want to do is my destination. That is moving in that direction. Now, purpose is what helps me navigate to where I'm going. So, right. So I put in a address into a GPS. And that's my destination. That's my destiny. Okay. Purpose is that says, okay, I'm getting my car. I'm going to go towards that destination, that destiny. And so if something happens along the way, I take a wrong turn. God that's standing there has a plan for me. His plan will see me fall here, but he'll pick me up and say, no, you got to come back. He corrects me and moves me towards that destination because my purpose is what is taking me from where I am to where I'm going. My purpose is I want to get to that particular place. I hope that makes sense. So these things begin to work. Now, when I reach that destination, that thing is done. But I move again. I want to move from here to here. I have another destination. And that's my destiny again. So I'm saying this because the world is not stuck in stone somewhere. You have a purpose, and your purpose says where you're going and why you're going there. That helps you make a wrong turn correct. If you do the wrong, if you fall, it picks you up. If you lose something, God gives you something else that will help you get to where you are going. Destiny and purpose and me are intertwined. Okay, how's that? 30 seconds.
Wow, destiny and purpose. So purpose is like the vehicle that drives you. The map, the compass is the destiny, you know, but
the destination, right?
Yeah, so the car that drives you, the vehicle. Oh, I passed 1 hour again.
I think that has to do with your number of followers. You get to a certain number, and then they give you more grace.
Oh, okay. No, but thank you, man. Listen, we thank you for sharing. I got a revelation when I was about to start this show, and I was like, God, nobody's going to come share their stories, their pain. He said, I'm the one telling you to do this show. They will share it. And it's been amazing, the people that have come to share stuff that you will be amazed, because what shame does is shame makes you feel it's only you. It's only you. Keep your head down, nurture that pain. And so you keep trying to nurture the shame while you're supposed to let your hands free and do destiny. So God said we overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony, which is what the enemy tries to make. Don't say it, or they'll feel that you are this, you know. But man, thank you for being vulnerable, and thank you for sharing your story today and wrapping up the month of August in such a graceful way, even though I still did not entangle this August. I was hoping that this August.
I heard that one. No, I heard you.
God have a purpose for it, you know. So
oh, gosh, I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you.
Pray for me. No, but really, thank you so much. If you were to do it over, what would you change? Would you change anything?
People always say that. They always ask that question. To me, the reason why I wouldn't change anything, because I've learned so much from this. I've learned how to stand when you're falling. And so I look back, and the reason why I wouldn't, because many times I say I wouldn't change anything, but it's true. Some things it would change, but I wouldn't change anything because of what I've learned from it, because of the people I've met through this, people I've helped, I've grown with through this. My wife and I have grown closer through this. My family and I have grown closer through the loss of my father. My mother and I got closer. My sisters and I got closer. So many things that you look back and you learn from. And I think if I would change it, how would I change it to learn the same lessons? How would I change it to see the same things. I don't know how that would be. So that's the reason why I wouldn't change it, because I don't know how I would change it so I can come out as strong as I did. How would I change it so I would learn the same lessons without that pain? So yes, there was pain, but the truth is, when you come out of it, you have learned things differently. And so you look back, you're looking back as you're learning, you're looking back as you're saying, okay, that's what I'm taking from that, and I'm going to go forward. So that's the reason why I wouldn't change things.
We wouldn't change a thing. Listen, man, thank you so much, Bishop, for coming to Bouqui'S Place. We love you so much. This is the best way to end this month, August. We love you. What are you working on now? Because listen, I don't know how you do it, but I think that if you pull your ears back, you will see battery and screws. I don't think you're really a human, because you have a university. Please, can you tell us some of the things that you do? I mean, you have all these things and you still have time to just tell us all the things you do.
Well, okay. Well, that's several things we do, but the truth is, it's not me that's by myself. There are days when we have stressful days, so it's not as if it's all roses. There are days that are very stressful, things that are tough. But how do we do it? So we have a university. It's called Benson Idahosa University, the best in Nigeria, private school. We have the churches that we deal with.
Can we get scholarship? Let's give 2 people scholarship on this line.
Let's talk. Okay, let's talk. We can talk about that. Well, let me give a shout out to all my friends. I see Anne. She's a graduate of Benson Idahosa University. Anne is there. I see my sister Ruth is online. I see Karen. She taught in Nigeria. So Karen is online. She taught at Nathan American Academy. That's a school that my wife and I started. Let's see. I see, let's see, Fisty is on there as well. Many people are on there. So I want to just shout out to all that. I see Becky D. Hi, you guys. Just give a shout out to all you guys. Yeah, you know my guy. Hey, your guy. Okay, so we have a university. We have a Bible school. We have a university. We have a elementary school that we sort of run. We have a microfinance bank that God has helped us set up. We have several companies. We have a water bottling company that makes water, bubbling water. So we have all kinds of things that we do. God has really helped us in the last couple of years. How do we do it? For me, it's not me by myself. God has helped me find good people to help us run it. My wife, Lori, is a very strong supporter of the vision. My family is also supporting me as well. My sons are there. They give me strength every day. I talk to them. Hello, Daddy. They give me strength. I do online shows like twice a week. My sister Ruth helps me with my online show. She comes on. So the day when I can't do it, I say, Ruth, can you help me handle the show? She handles it as well too. So yeah, we have all kinds of people that help us. So I think for me, no one ever succeeds by themselves. And so anyone tells that they're a self-made man is a liar. People help you succeed. People help you stand. So for me, what helps me stand is I've made my life's purpose to find good people. And I can say, okay, this is my vision. This is what I want to do. I'm a visionary. I have to find people who are good operations people. And say, okay, this is my thoughts on doing this. Help me run this part. And so I share vision, I share ideas, and they help to run it. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision, make it plain, so that those who read it can run with it. That's what helps me, is finding good people.
Wow, and having a team around your dream. And I'm not trying to run. No, for real. I was not trying to run.
Let me write that one down. Having a team around your dream. Hey, so that when you are seen, they will not take you underneath the
team. So that the team will seem like a gleam.
No, the beam. There you go.
Thank you so much for coming to Bouqui'S Place. I don't want to take you more.
Wonderful time.
God bless you so much. We love you. Where can we follow you? How can we see more of your stuff?
Okay, so I'm online on Instagram. I have a business handle called Marketplace Feb, where I talk about business things and ideas. My regular handle is Feb Idahosa. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. Find me on my Feb Idahosa YouTube channel. And then I have a mentoring platform where I share thoughts with people, share ideas. If you're on Telegram, you have to go on Telegram. Telegram, look up Wealth Creation and Mentoring. Wealth Creation and Mentoring. That's what I do on Telegram. I share thoughts there as well too. So I mentor people through that as well too. So find me, I'll connect, and I'll say hello.
And he will say hello to you. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you for coming to Bouqui'S Place.
Thank you. Have a great time.
Everything you lay your hands on will prosper in the name of Jesus. Thank you for honoring me. I love you very much. All right.
Love you too. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate the time.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right.
Bye.
You too. Bye.